Hi everyone, my name is Kaustubh Kale. So this video is specifically for the DIY, the do-it-yourself investor, the person who's planning to achieve his financial goals himself, whether it is his financial freedom or other relevant financial goals, and what are the risks, what can go wrongs that he should take care of. So this video is an all-encompassing, comprehensive video that will help you. So stay tuned. So the first thing is you have to build the right mindset and the right psychology. Now, which books will help you build the right mindset and psychology and understand how money works, how wealth creation happens, how finance works. So these two books will help you: Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Read these two books to understand how money works, how wealth creation happens, and build the right psychology and mindset. Now going ahead, why should you understand money and finance? People ask me, ये इतना जरूरी क्या है? क्यों है? Sorry. So understand that Morgan Housel has said this, that two fields everyone has to learn about, even if you are not interested in them, because they are interested in you and will impact your life in huge ways, is health and money. So health and wealth दो चीज ऐसा है कि आप उनमें इंटरेस्ट लो या नहीं लो, हेल्थ एंड वेल्थ को आप में बहुत इंटरेस्ट है, सो इसलिए यू हैव टू टेक इंटरेस्ट इन देम बिकॉज दे विल इम्पैक्ट योर लाइफ एंड इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू लर्न अबाउट इट. The other most important and the practical reason is incomes are not permanent, but expenses are permanent. So after one point of time, you will not have incomes, active incomes, but you will still have expenses till you are alive and till you are living on this earth. सो इसके लिए कॉन्सेप्ट समझना बहुत जरूरी, विच इज कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट. कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट इज द एट वंडर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. ही हु अंडरस्टैंड्स इट अर्न्स इट, ही हु डजंट अंडरस्टैंड इट पेज इट. एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन ने कहा है. सो कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. कंपाउंडिंग का जो पावर है, द पावर ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज you will either fall in two kinds of brackets. Either you will earn from it, or the second is either or you will just pay it. Correct? So either you will earn from it or you will pay it. So it's necessary for you to understand compound interest, because आप दोनों में से एक जगह पे तो रहोगे, in two brackets, either of the two brackets. One is where you earn from it and benefit from it, or the second bracket is where you are paying it and you are not earning from it, where you are at a disadvantageous position. So either you can take advantage of it or compounding can take advantage of you. So you have to understand where are you and accordingly work for it. अभी कंपाउंडिंग का एक बहुत सिंपल उदाहरण, एक सिंपल एग्जांपल थ्रू सिस्टमैटिक इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान. वी ऑल हैव हर्ड एंड वी नो ऑफ सिस्टमैटिक इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान, SIP. So now if you want to retire at the age of 60, okay, at the age of 60 with 10 crores in your bank account, 10 crores in your assets, then how can you do it? So if you start at the age of 20, then considering a compounded annual growth rate of 12%, because equity mutual funds will generally give you, stock markets will generally give you 11 to 15% ka CAGR. We have considered 12% for our example. Okay, so now if you start at the age of 20, you only need 8,500 per month to reach 10 crore at the age of 60. Sorry, okay. So if you are 20 right now, you only need 8,500 per month का SIP to reach a corpus of 10 crores at the age of 60. Now जैसे जैसे आप इसको लेट चालू करते हो, say if you started at 30, then at the age of 30 you need 28,600 odd. So आप जितना लेट चालू करते हो उतना ज्यादा पैसा आपको पर मंथ ऐसा बर्डन लगता है to reach 10 crores at the age of 60. So this was compounding, because the sooner you start, you receive more number of years. You are benefited by from more number of years of compounding, and that is why ब्याज पे ब्याज, ब्याज पे ब्याज, इंटरेस्ट पे इंटरेस्ट, इंटरेस्ट पे इंटरेस्ट, या फिर कंपाउंडिंग पे कंपाउंडिंग, प्रॉफिट्स पे प्रॉफिट्स आपका ग्रो होते रहता है, एंड दैट इज कंपाउंडिंग. सो सूनर यू स्टार्ट बेटर इट इज, बिकॉज compounding benefits those who starts earlier. Now moving forward, what exactly is the compounding formula? We have learned this formula in school. Amount is nothing but as a factor of, okay, principal होता है ब्रैकेट में 1 plus r which is your returns raised to the t which is time. ठीक है. सो आपको एज एन इन्वेस्टर फोकस करना होता है आपके टाइम होराइजन पे, बिकॉज आप जितना ज्यादा उस पर टाइम स्पेंड करोगे उतना आप पे कंपाउंडिंग को आपको बेनिफिट मिलेगा. ठीक है. एंड आर बेसिकली यू हैव टू जस्ट एंश्योर यू आर इन द राइट एसेट क्लास which is at least beating inflation. That is something bare minimum. And P is again outside the bracket, which is the amount that you invest. So the more amount that you invest and the more time horizon that you stay invested, you are benefited if you are in the right asset class. As simple as that. Now, this is an important concept which I tell all the DIY investors. It's called as financial immunity. You have to judge the financial immunity of your portfolio. Basically, what is financial immunity? It means your portfolio is protected. It's a rock solid portfolio. It helps you when you need the most, and you can invest without fear and hesitation. And importantly, it helps you achieve your financial goals. Now, what are the four pillars of financial immunity? There are four pillars of financial immunity. The first is emergency fund, which is also called as a contingency reserve or a rainy day fund. The second is health insurance. The third is term insurance, which is life insurance. And the fourth is financial goals के basis पे आपका asset allocation करना. हम लोग ये हर एक पॉइंट को डेप्थ में देखेंगे. The first we'll understand is about asset allocation, but इसकी शुरुआत करने से पहले how should we judge an investment? The first thing is return. जब कि आपको जब कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट को जज करना है ना, तो आपको क्या पैरामीटर्स पे उसको जज करना होता है. तो द फर्स्ट थिंग लाइक आई सेड इज रिटर्न्स, कि आपको इस पे इंटरेस्ट आएगा या आपका वैल्यू इंक्रीज होगा, आपको डिविडेंड आएगा, आपका इंटरेस्ट इनकम आएगा या आपका वैल्यू इंक्रीज होगा, कैपिटल एप्रिसिएशन होगा. तो आपको रिटर्न जज करना जरूरी है. द नेक्स्ट इज understanding the risk. What is the probability that you might get lesser than your capital or you might lose your capital? Okay, so the first point is return on capital. The second point is return of capital. So ये दो चीजें आपको understand करनी है. The third is liquidity, that whether the asset is easily convertible to cash and bank balance. That is liquidity, कि आपको बेचने में कितना टाइम जाता है, पैसा कितना जल्दी वापस आता है, कैसे फॉर्म में आता है, ये होता है लिक्विडिटी. The fourth is time horizon, that is there any gestation or is there any waiting period for you to earn those kind of returns, because of which you have to, आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोडक्ट को अगर जज करना हो तो शायद कोई टाइम होराइजन होता होगा, उसके बाद ही आप जज कर सकते हो whether you have got the desired returns or not. So the fourth, like I said, is time horizon, waiting period for returns, and there are other factors such as tax, unique circumstances हुआ. Now coming to asset allocation, आपने ये तो समझ लिया कि आपको कैसे उसको जज करना है इन्वेस्टमेंट को. तो अभी हम एसेट एलोकेशन पे आते हैं. नाउ व्हाट इज एसेट एलोकेशन? यू मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ लार्ज परचेसेस और लार्ज मनी नीड्स फॉर योर फ्यूचर विच आर फाइनेंशियल गोल्स विच विल नॉट बी टेकन केयर फ्रॉम योर मंथली इनकम, बिजनेस इनकम और मंथली सैलरी इनकम, सिंस दीज आर लार्ज परचेसेस. सो यू मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ इट. ठीक है, राइट, विथ अ टाइम डेडलाइन एंड अ टारगेट अमाउंट. आपको ऐसा एक टेबल बनाना है. अकॉर्डिंगली यू हैव टू प्लान एंड इन्वेस्ट. सो आपको कब पैसा लगेगा, पैसा क्यों लगेगा, एंड व्हाट इज द अमाउंट दैट यू विल रिक्वायर. दिस अमाउंट हैज टू बी adjusted for inflation, and then basis this table of when do you require the money, how much do you require, and why do you require the money, your product choosing will be depending on that time horizon and your return requirement. So basically your amount, your return requirement and your time horizon, depending on that your investment product will be chosen basis that. So let's try and understand certain things. Now, if you are young, you should always keep in mind that beating inflation is more important than not taking risk. If you are young, you should always keep in mind beating inflation is more important than not taking risk. Now, what do I mean by young? Someone who is very far away from retirement, from his financial freedom. The next person is someone who is already retired or close to retirement. For him, the focus has to be capital preservation plus ensuring that the product has good liquidity and income generation, कि आपको एटलीस्ट उसमें से एक तो आपका कैपिटल प्रोटेक्टेड रहे, कैपिटल रिस्क ज्यादा नहीं हो, आपको पैसा अगर लगे कभी भी जरूरत पड़े तो लिक्विडिटी इजी हो, एंड आपको मंथली इनकम या क्वार्टरली इनकम या 6 मंथली इनकम आए जिससे आपका घर चल पाए. सो मंथली इनकम जनरेशन, ग्रोइंग वेल्थ एंड लिक्विडिटी, ऑल थ्री आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर समवन हु इज ऑलरेडी रिटायर्ड. बट फॉर समवन हु इज यंग, take risks and always keep in mind that beating inflation is more important than not taking risk. You have to beat inflation, take risk and beat inflation. The more easier approach is, if you are, for example, if you have a time horizon of less than 5 years, never put it in inflation beating assets. And if your time horizon is more than 5 years, then never put in fixed income, non-inflation beating assets. For example, bank fixed deposit. Now, this has to be in depth with respect to your personal finance, your as a specific person, you as a specific person. Now let's understand this planning table for an example purpose. Assume करो अगर किसी का एज 30 years है, ठीक है, he has two goals in mind. One is retirement planning and the second is his child's education and marriage. Now for retirement planning, there are 20 years to go. Since he's 30 right now, he plans to get retired by 50. He wants at least 2 crore. For this, an SIP of only 25,000 will be enough. Okay? A systematic investment plan of 25,000 will help him reach 2 crores in 20 years. Again, we have considered anywhere between 11 to 13% as the compounded annual growth rate. Now considering the same horizon, considering the same parameters, for example, for a child's education, if he needs 18 years, if he needs the money in 18 years and he needs a corpus of 1 crore, 1 crore for his education, उसके child के education plus marriage, तो यहाँ पे 17,000 का SIP लगता है. So if you see 17,000 will help him, 17,000 invested per month for 18 years will grow to 1 crore. 25,000 invested per month for 20 years will grow to 2 crores, and this is very much possible because he has many number of years ahead. So this is how you should plan. And then since you have decided, since you have decided what is the amount that is required based on equity mutual fund, obviously you should invest it in a riskier inflation beating asset like an equity mutual fund, that will help you achieve your financial goals. Now what are the investment avenues generally available? ठीक है, हमने एक equity mutual fund की बात की as an example. तो what are the avenues? So there are two kinds of assets. One beats inflation and the second is doesn't beat inflation. So which are the assets that beat inflation? Gold, silver, precious metals, real estate, equities, equity mutual funds will help you beat inflation. That will give you at least more than 7-8% return जो आपका inflation beat करेगा. ठीक है? Which are the assets that will not help you beat inflation? Savings bank account, bank fixed deposit, fixed income instruments, bonds, debt mutual funds, insurance plus investment schemes, provident fund, post office schemes, ये आपका इन्फ्लेशन बीट नहीं करेंगे. ठीक है. सो ऑन अ टैक्स एडजस्टेड बेसिस, ऑन एन इन्फ्लेशन एडजस्टेड बेसिस, ये आपका कैपिटल एक्चुअली खा लेते हैं जो एसेट बीट इन्फ्लेशन नहीं करते. Now coming to an emergency fund. Okay, now we first understood about asset allocation. There are four parameters for a financial immunity. ठीक है, to build a strong financial immune portfolio. The first, like I said, was emergency fund. The second is health insurance. Third is term life insurance. Fourth was asset allocation. We understood about asset allocation. Now we come to emergency fund. ये बहुत simple concept होता है that it's a contingency reserve, it's a rainy day fund, it's an emergency fund for you to have when you might have no income. You take a sabbatical, you take a break, you decide to do a world tour, for whatever thing आप डिसाइड कर सकते हो बिकॉज आपको कॉन्फिडेंस आता है. और इट मे बी एन अनप्लान्ड इमरजेंसी. सो ऐसे टाइम पे जो आपको शायद कोई इनकम नहीं हो, ये तभी आपको हेल्प करता है. दिस इज योर लास्ट रिसोर्ट. दिस इज अ पिगी बैंक दैट यू विल नेवर ब्रेक. सो फॉर अ सैलरीड पर्सन यू शुड एटलीस्ट हैव 6 to 12 months of your household expenses as a emergency fund, and for a professional or business owner you should have 6 to 12 months of your household plus business fixed expenses as a emergency fund. So this was about emergency fund contingency reserve. Very simple. So ये आप करना है पहले या साइड बाय साइड ऑन अ प्रायोरिटी बिफोर यू स्टार्ट एसेट एलोकेशन वाला जो आपका एक्सरसाइज है, इन्वेस्टिंग फॉर योर लॉन्ग टर्म गोल्स. ठीक है. The next is health insurance. Very simple concept. Planning for something which is unpredictable, which is hospitalization, accident हुआ, critical illness हुआ, routine को illness हुआ जिसकी वजह से hospitalization हुआ, तो आपका savings and investments has to be safe, it has to be protected. That is wealth protection and preservation. It helps you to save and invest without worrying because you will not have to break that investment. Cover should be at least 20 lakhs per individual. The higher the cover, the better it is because it has to be future oriented. Don't take a very small cover of 4, 5, 10 lakhs. Take a good cover of 20, 30, 40, 50 lakhs, which will help you in your future. And it has to, like I said, plan for major illnesses, surgeries, accidents, hospitalizations. Sooner you buy, better it is and cheaper it is, and the chance of the company not rejecting you buying a health insurance plan is obviously much better. कि आपका आप जितना लेट खरीदते हो, there is a chance that your company might reject the health insurance plan, कि आपको खरीदने ही नहीं देंगे. उससे अच्छा आप जितना जल्दी खरीद लेते हो, the chances that the company might reject reduces. ठीक है. And never rely on your employer cover because employer cover has various problems. It has a product problem. It is most of the times inadequate. So ये सब चीज़ों की वजह से प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. ऑलवेज बाय योर ओन हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस कवर बिकॉज यू आर स्ट्राइविंग फॉर अ डे व्हेन यू हैव नो एम्प्लॉयर. आपको फाइनेंशियली फ्री होना है, उसके लिए आप सोचते हैं कि मेरा एम्प्लॉयर नहीं होना चाहिए. तो जब एम्प्लॉयर नहीं होता है तो एम्प्लॉयर कवर कैसे होगा? सो ऑलवेज बाय योर ओन हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस कवर. Now coming to life insurance. Life insurance again is a simple concept. It takes care of your family in your absence. It helps in compensating the lost income. अगर जो मेन पर्सन है अगर उसको कुछ हो जाए तो ठीक है. It helps you in achieving the families achieving the financial goals and paying off liabilities loans borrowings अगर कुछ रहेंगे, sum assured should be at least 10 to 15 times of your annual income. So अगर मिस्टर एक्स अपने परिवार के लिए टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस ले रहा है खुद के लाइफ पे, तो 10 to times of his annual income, and he should add any loans outstanding, कोई vehicle लोन हो, कोई होम लोन हो, तो वो लोन भी उसमें जोड़ देना चाहिए, and the sum assured should be considering all of this. Okay, and always go for a term plan because it is cheaper. Never buy an insurance plus investment plan. We have always seen it in various videos of mine. You should not mix insurance plus investment, keep it separate. You can buy a pure term insurance plan, and जो balance amount है उसको म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट कर लो फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म. दैट विल गिव यू मच 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 बेटर रिटर्न्स. नेवर गो फॉर insurance plus investment plan. Now revisiting, it's a very simple concept. You save for a rainy day when there might be no income, which is a contingency reserve or an emergency fund. You plan for unforeseen events that don't impact your savings, जो आपके हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस और लाइफ इंश्योरेंस है. ठीक है, यू बैलेंस योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स प्रॉपर्ली कि टाइम होराइजन एंड डिजायर्ड अमाउंट, कि आपको कब पैसा लगेगा, किसके लिए लगेगा एंड कितना लगेगा. ठीक है, इसको आप अच्छे से मैनेज कर लो, इसका एक टेबल बना लो, एंड according to that you invest, because beating inflation is very important. And do review periodically as a DIY, as a do it yourself investor. Do review periodically. So to end the video, I will like to leave you with this slide. Okay, like I said, this is the most important slide that you can understand about compounding. पता है वो कहते हैं ना, इट इज नेवर टू लेट टू स्टार्ट, इट इज नेवर टू लेट टू स्टार्ट. गलत कहते हैं इन केस ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग, बिकॉज द सूनर यू स्टार्ट द बेटर इट इज. समवन हुज एट द एज ऑफ 30 इज एट मोर एडवांटेज वर्सेस समवन हुज एट द एज ऑफ 40. व्हाई इज दैट सो? बिकॉज आप रिटायरमेंट का जो एज है ना उसको धक्का नहीं दे सकते. ठीक है, रिटायरमेंट वाला एज विल बी मोटा मोटी कॉन्स्टेंट, दैट यू वुड वांट टू रिटायर बाय द एज ऑफ 55 और 60. सो दैट इज व्हाई समवन हु इज starting early is at an advantage. Also understand one very important thing. It is not how much you earn, it is how much you save. It is not just how much you save, it is how much you invest. It is not just how much you invest, it is how well you invest. It is not just how well you invest, it is for how long you invest. That matters. So आप कितना कमाते हो, how much you earn, उसमें से how much you save, उसमें से what is actually what you are investing, how well you are investing, and for how long you are investing. That is what matters, and that is what will determine your financial freedom and your wealth creation and achieving your financial goals. So this was it. If you have any questions, I am happy to take. Please do get in touch with me on the coordinates mentioned. You can email me or you can WhatsApp me. Thank you so much everyone. Please do like, share and subscribe. I hope this helped you as a do-it-yourself investor.